Hey, how's it going, everybody? It is Jazzy, the video store Sasquatch here, and we're doing our Throwback Thursday. We have three movies here, or we have four movies here that I reviewed. One of them's new. Three of them continue on to our March, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Here we are in our, we're like so far, we're so far have covered like 25 or 26 movies. I think with the movies that we're in, and we haven't even hit into the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet. So it'll be interesting to see how this is going, how long it kind of takes, because I didn't realize how many movies there were and how many movies we're gonna have to watch. So we will see if we can get it done before um the Avengers come out. We should be able to, though. We'll just kind of force it in at the end. We're gonna start here with The Dink, directed by Josh Greenbaum, starring Jake Johnson, Mary Steenburgen, and Ed Harris. A washed-up tennis pro tries to save a club by reluctantly playing pickleball to earn his father's respect. Aaron Chen is in this, Lennon Parnham, Wayne Wallerson, Ben Stiller, Chris Parnell, and Andy Roddick all pop up in this. This movie is actually really funny. It's very enjoyable. Nick from New Girl is in this. That's Jake Johnson, as well as Mary Steenburgen from Step Brothers. She's Will Ferrell's mom. Aaron Chen, I've never seen him, I don't think, or if I have seen him, I just kind of see him in passing and never really recognized him. But he was like one of the funnier parts of a really funny movie, so I had to like call him out there because he did a very funny role here. Almost every time he's on the screen, I was laughing. I watched it with a couple buddies and we were all laughing. So that's like a good sign there. Wayne Wilderson, pretty good. And Andy Roddick, kind of out of his little thing, out of his like um kind of, you know, tennis area here. He doesn't really act much, but he was funny and he kind of knew the game that he was trying to play here and did a good job. This is an Apple movie. If you have, it's brand new. It came out last week. So if you have Apple and you're trying to like find something, this is actually worth it. It's like there's like a handful of good Apple stuff, and I think it's just getting better and better. Really, honestly, especially with like F1 last year, and then a couple movies this year, and then the Dink now. So maybe it is worth trying to grab into there if you like content here, because I mean Margaret, I watched Margaret Has Money Troubles. That's on Apple as well, and that was pretty good too. So that's something to think about there. This came out July 24th, 2026. Like I said, it was just like last week, and it is worth the watch for sure, 100%. I'd probably give it a nice B minus. I mean, it's kind of a predictable story, but at the same time, we're trying to predict it, and we're kind of calling stuff, and then like, we kind of called it. We called it until like a mixture of it. So they did try and kind of keep it fresh and kind of keep their own kind of story into this, because there's only like so many ways you can do it. So I do kind of give them that kind of credit, because I mean it kind of was what we said, but it wasn't exactly how we said it was going to get there, which is always kind of cool when you kind of see something like that. It is definitely worth a watch, and that is The Dink, directed by Josh Greenbaum. Let's see here. We'll start with The Amazing Spider-Man 2, directed by Mark Webb, starring Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, and Jamie Foxx. When New York is put under siege by Oscorp, it is up to Spider-Man to save the city he sought to protect, as well as his loved ones. Dane DeHaan shows up as the Green Goblin, Paul Giamatti as the Rhino. Sally Field is like a May 2nd, 2014 came out. At a $200 million budget, so pretty much all the Spider-Mans had about the same budget. Had an opening of 91, a gross of 716 million. It's going to be interesting to see what this opening does this weekend. But I mean, all those numbers track on to be like one of the better Spider-Mans. Honestly, I thought that Jamie Foxx was a very good villain as Electro, from the start. So I really think that that helped this movie. I think that I don't remember a lot of backlash or anything like this about this one. You don't really get much about Spider-Man because it's just so easy to do, and it's just a moneymaker, as we've seen it. It's like 800 million, 800 million, 900 million. So it's a multi-billion-dollar property at this point in time. This is the final of the two iterations. We do get Andrew Garfield back in Homecoming, but that is where we're on our new day or whatever it is. I think I get Homecoming and Far From Home. Let's see, there's Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and then Spider-Man No Way Home, and I think that's the one where he's in. Sorry, there's like all the damn fucking taglines. It's Spider-Man 3. But this is a good movie. I would like to see more of Andrew Garfield, and I watched like a video of it, and like the one things that I even noticed this, like, he was just more of, like, a natural, um with the webbing, he was using that to attack. He's like more like a spider and more like was attacking and using stuff, the webs and stuff like that that Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire just didn't do. But that is Spider-Man. That came Spider-Man 2, directed by Mark Webb. And we got X-Men: The Last Stand here, directed by Brett Ratner, starring Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, and Halle Berry. The human government develops a cure for mutation, and Jean Grey becomes a darker, uncontrollable personnel called the Phoenix, who allies with Magneto, causing escalation into an all-out battle for the X-Men. Ian McKellen, Anna Paquin, Kelsey Grammer, Famke Jensen, James Marsden, Rebecca Romaine, Sean Ashmore, Aaron Stanford, Vinnie Jones, so many more pop up in this movie as mutants, and they're important to the story here. They did had to cramp in a lot. Like they could have probably two-parted this, like two and two, and did like hour 40 minutes each. Especially at the time now, like when we're thinking like today, it'd be like 2 hours and 20 minutes each. But at the time here, they're trying to keep it under 2 hours, so they would have got to like hour 45 each. I think we would have got a very good story. I think they're kind of worried about all these contracts. It's like you just see humor all these people and stuff like that that are associated with this. So it's just probably hard to get them all together as well and get a timing for that. So they just wanted to kind of do what they could. Probably, I feel like some of this part's rushed, but this is the one I remember the most. I'd say maybe the second one, but this is the second one I remember the most as a kid. I think my favorite one of all time, though, is Days of Future Past. But this came out May 26th of 2006, had a budget of 210 million, had an opening of 102 million, a gross of 460 million. And this is 2006, 460 million is a pretty good number there, especially when we're talking about like global market stuff like that. There just wasn't as many. Like I said, this is one of the ones that I remember the most. I mean, this was the end of it. Like you could tell that this is like the final part of this story for whatever it was going to be, even though they kind of added on to it with X-Men Last Stand and Days of Future Past and stuff like this, and they kind of just shat on everything, but you could tell at the time that this was going to be the finish of it. Jean Grey was powerful. I remember going back and reading about the Phoenix after this and all that. Yeah, this is a great movie. This is the first one that's not Zack Snyder either, which is interesting. And it does kind of stay away from. I mean, it doesn't really stay away from the political side though. That it was like heavy Zack Snyder in the first two. So interesting stuff here. That's X Men: The Last Stand, directed by Brett Ratner. And the last one we're going to talk about here is it's kind of an offshoot of Marvel, but we're going to Marvel it. We'll talk about what we might do later on. But Men in Black 2, directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, starring Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, and Rip Torn. Agent J is sent to find Agent K and restore his memory after the reappearance of a case from K's past. Laura Flamboyant pops up in this. Johnny Knoxville, Rosario Dawson, Tony Shalhoub, and Michael Jackson. July 3rd, 2002. Whatever Will people, they need to get more people that were working for Will Smith back in the day to get to a star to make him, to try and even make him. Because listen, like I was just like thinking about this, like all the last movies we talked about Will Smith, they all came out in July. They were all around the 4th of July too. On top of it, so he gets all of his prime real estate. He's always hitting money. Had a budget of 140 and opening of 52 and gross of 445. You don't see that kind of strategy anymore. I feel like. And like we've all talked about like that with the movies, like sometimes how like Christmas movies that come out in fucking the middle of the summer, like or in the middle of summer movies that come out at Christmas, which makes no sense. It just you'd figure you'd want to kind of at least match what the viewer is going through for the most part. I mean, I understand that there's tropical areas and stuff like this, but that is crazy. Sorry, a little rant. This one's good. Rosario Dawson is the link to everything here, and Will Smith loves her. It makes a very good point that Will Smith is willing to give up everything to be a Man in Black from the very start of this, and that it was kind of what drove Kay crazy. So it's kind of interesting that they went with that. I think they had a whole story in mind, but I really these are good, man. There's only an hour and 25 minutes too, so I feel like they're like, we're gonna get in, get out of this movie. We're gonna make it all fucking shiny. We're gonna get those lizards talking. Everyone's gonna be happy, and we're gonna get Will Smith to shine. Um, and they did, and that's exactly what happened. Will Smith came in, saved the day, got the shine, and on top of that, just a good movie. It's entertaining. It's quick pace. Great storytelling. Definitely something if you have not seen it, you need to check out. And then the box office for July 24th and the 26th weekend is the Odyssey at 90 million with 321 million. That's all domestic number right there, 321. $321 million total. Moana, 11 million at 107 million. That's kind of disappointing. And Hadestown, the musical, 10 million. Do we have another one? And Toy Story 5, 10 million with a total of 452 million. And I did see Toy Story 5, and there's a review on here. And I did that was a very good job. So interesting to see where Moana kind of bombing and Toy Story killing it. I want to see what Spider Man does with Odyssey numbers here. It will be interesting, especially since I had to book my ticket for tomorrow night for Spider Man tonight. And it was like every theater they had to add times. They had to have had times because every theater was already sold out. So, or not sold out, but either there's no seats worth getting or kind of edge seats, or it was sold out completely. And that was all the way until midnight. So I'm interested to see. We have a horror movie night tomorrow night coming. We have a couple new horror movies that I watched. And then we'll go see Spider Man. So we'll probably do a special Friday one too. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please have a good rest of your day or night. And if you like this, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment your top movie picks for Throwback Thursday in the comment section. And see you next time in the cave.